I'm gonna be sick.
Leo, what happened? I hate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I never watched any of it as a kid for one simple reason. Their designs are just too colorblind unfriendly to me. There's only two of them as far as I'm concerned. The vaguely blue and the vaguely red one. Seriously, I'm red-green colorblind, so I can't see the difference between the orange and the red mask. And blue and purple merge all the same. Sure, I guess I could have looked at the weapons to depict which ones are which, but I'm not going to memorize all that. Wait, did they always have the letter of their names on their belts? Well, either way, my biases against the Renaissance artists made it so that I have no real recollection of nostalgia for these four sewer gremlins. But perhaps it is time for a change.
Now! Oh! Let's try that again, but with ninja stars. Hey!
We are genuinely in a golden age of animation right now, as the industry is finally feeling free to flex its wings and give us some variety and prowess with each individual production. And with the trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, it only just continues further. This animation style is absolutely glorious. I am in love with the aesthetic of this movie from this footage alone. And you know, the extra saturation of the color palette might help my tired old eyes from understanding who's who. Although, not gonna lie, I'm probably just gonna stare at their belts after Time for Help anyway. This movie is set to be a reboot of sorts to the canon of TMNT, as they've been through several different installments over the decades. Don't have to be a fan of the saga to understand that one. And though I hear people have been mourning the cutting off of the latest TV series rendition of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this reality is looking to be a worthy replacement as a re-wrapping for the next generation.
I tried to talk him out of it.
Leo! You ratted us out.
Hey, don't use that word that way.
I mean, it's 2023.
Sorry, Dad.
Beyond just the visual eye candy of it all, of course, there's one particular detail that has been added to the mix that just makes a lot of sense to the canon of these turtles, and yet hasn't been properly utilized for several decades. The T in TMNT. No, not turtle. These turtles are meant to be teenagers, and only now do they actually sound like it, leaning into the more immature elements of their character traits and presenting the timeline of events for these guys as kind of feeling like a prequel to it all. Donardo over here even still has his mandatory eyeglasses to see. Considering this is a series being rebooted to reach the next generation down, it makes so much more sense to try to make the content a bit more relatable to their younger audience, and these just seem like such a no-brainer against the more young adult vibes you can get from the more edgier tones of Turtles past. Or just in the casting choices for the voices of the four.
Whoa!
What the? Y'all some little tortoises, huh?
I can't believe there are other mutants!
Specifically in the cast list this time around Mutant Mayhem has some unknown actual teenagers in the main roles. That's fantastic to hear. Not just because it's always nice to give new talent a platform, but because it adds so much more to the series whilst being such a simple breath of fresh air. But that doesn't mean the whole cast are underground talent. In fact, the trailer itself tells us that this is a Seth Rogen production. And I think his influence is the perfect fit for this kind of movie. And cast as Bebop, one of the classic mutant villains. You've also got the likes of Jackie Chan as Splinter. Again, fantastic choice. This guy is always involved in some way on the IPs of martial arts, and it's great to hear he's still going. You've also got John Cena, Post Malone, Paul Rudd, Maya Rudolph, and more, each as different collections of mutant villains. And at the center is Superfly and Ice Cube. Just a stellar cast all around, but not distractingly in the center star role. It all just seems like a really fun production, doused in this jaw-dropping animation style that actually brings me out of my childhood biases against it. Being a movie and a reboot, the story of course is going to reset everything yet again, but seems to be doing so in a way that isn't boring and retread territory. As there's no singular villain of the week this time, but all of them. All at once. Just Superflies at the front. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being mutants themselves means they are naturally placed on their team upon initial impressions. That's really cool. Is that normal? I wouldn't know. But this is the kind of prequel story that I would love to see conceptualized fully, and though I am very clearly not the intended generation to tell this new story to, it is new to me. So perhaps my outlook on this movie could reflect more closely to the effectiveness of the final product, without the distractions of childhood nostalgia in the way. I don't know, maybe. April's different, but that's cool. TMNT always had a bit of a history with representation. I remember there was briefly a time of a female turtle that wasn't received all too well, and though this adds no changes to the gender side of the conversation, it is still nice to get some extra inclusion wherever possible. This time hopefully with more success than last time. These kinds of changes never really bother me. Though it is always the redheads that are lost, isn't it? I wonder why execs keep choosing that character trait.
You've got a rage problem, right?
snap.
It's not a problem!
But yes, as Nickelodeon movies go, they're often quite hit or miss. But this is looking like a home run on first impressions. The art style is outstanding, the story seems fresh and opens up to all sorts of new tales to be told with this slightly younger version of the iconic Turtles, and with the minds of Seth Rogen behind it, perhaps this whole production can come out as just one great big piece of fun. Perfect kids entertainment, and me too. After years of hating the very concept of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because my eyes don't work, apparently all it takes is some glimmer animation style to pull me out of my grumbles, as I'll be seeing this first thing at the cinemas, finally exposing myself to the intricate world of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. What a title. And the boundless possibilities it could extend into from there. I mean, if they could once cross over to the Power Rangers universe, then I'm sure there's all sorts of opportunities to be had if this is as big as a success as it could be. You just know Nickelodeon would want to cash cow that version of reality if it brings in all of the profits. And I'll be helping out with this endeavor. Thank you, Golden Age of Animation. Don't you ever stop. For now, I'm gonna end it off here. Just a brief one today. My name's been Daz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.
Humans are never gonna like us. So we gonna let the mutants rule the earth.